Namaste, Jay Bharat. One of the latest news is that America is giving their F-35 to Saudi. That's too, as the report says, the F-35 is Saudi, and that's similar or same F-35 which Israel is using, which was given to Israel. The America's claim is that F-35 is the ultimate fighter aircraft in the cosmos. That's what they claim. But I don't know. Most of the American equipments, I've also used some of these American equipments in the air defense of Bharat long back. They are not that promising. They are not that promising. It's very, very flamboyant and kind of boisterous things, show and all those things are there. But then when you use it, to what extent they're successful, it can't be really predicted from whatever little experience I have, little knowledge I have. So F-35, they speak a lot about it. They're giving it to Saudi. Perhaps they were initially supposed to be saying, I don't know whether they really said it or not, that their weapons they will not give to Islamic nations. I don't know. This is what their attitude, mostly not our attitude. This part of the world we don't make the discrimination, but the Europeans do make. But ultimately it's business. So they must be doing whatever is convenient to them. Obviously, for most of the Europeans, convenience is criteria. That, of course, had seen through experience centuries of experience. There are hardly exceptions. So about F-35, something we know. Couple of times we have experience with the F-35, and we didn't find that is an invisible kind of thing. First of all, there was an F-35 which quote unquote, erred into Bharat airspace. I don't believe that has come by mistake. They must have sent an F-35 to scout to find out how efficient is their defense of Bharat. Possible is that. And the pilot, when contacted, was not initially replying. Then we locked to them, it seems. He said he has problem with this aircraft and we wanted to make an emergency landing, of course, which we do. And the F-35 was not coming from the US. It was from an aircraft carrier of the UK, which was going for some exercise. There was no need. If you see his route and the place where he was breaching into the air defense identification zone of Bharat is entirely different. And if he reaches that point, it's very painful. Then the aircraft lands without permission. Then they were making big show of it, not letting anyone come near, not even taking the aircraft into a hangar, which you said you can keep it sheltered. No, they wanted to keep it in the space, probably with the plea that their satellites will observe it for 24 by 7, 14, 30, whatever. Maybe 30 into 12. That must have been their plan. And the poor pilot was doing real guard duty to the aircraft. That's the kind of instructions which he was given. Helpless pilots. And that man was told that you don't bother to answer. You're invisible and invincible, etc. And that aircraft stayed there for 30 days plus in one of our airfield in the south. It was out there, the rain. That area is full of rain. It's a tropical area. So rain, thunder, whatever. And this man, pilot, had to simply obey orders, of course. Right from the Roman legions times, the soldiers were bound to obey blunt orders, and they were doing it. Someone's whim, someone's fancy. And ultimately, they could not take off. They brought all kinds of technical support, technicians, etc. They could not take off. And the very company which made this F-35, Lockheed Martin, had to come with new panels and put these panels, etc. Somehow it appears they took off after a month. 1 month they struggled. Took off after 1 month. And then while going and going back, crashed during landing. This is the thing, narrative, what I know. Then during that time, from another zone, this happened in the western part. From the eastern part, Another F-35 was trying to enter into our air defense identification zone. When challenged, that one vanished. This time, the pilot was told that you are not visible, you're invincible, you can do this, you can do everything. But he also was told one of the aircraft was identified by them as our air defense. How, why, they don't know. So this man was little cautious, not overconfident as the first pilot. So this man, the moment he was challenged, he fled. Left. The second incident took place. So the F-35, how successful that remains to be seen. These are all the narratives that we happened here. I have not flown the aircraft, I have not seen it. Nobody has seen it. Most of us. So, but this thing, he was desperate in selling that Bharat we did not take. Maybe our people know that this is not that great a kind of thing, but then it was put to Saudi. Trump is bent upon selling it to friends, quote unquote friends. So now Saudi, shall we say Saudi is lucky or fortunate to get F-35 or a victim of this F-35 aircraft? We don't know. Let's wait for it. Things remains to be seen. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat. Jai Siya Ram.